Hello, welcome back to my another session. In this session, I have a talk about the ecological pyramid. Such ecological pyramid also known as the Eltonian pyramid, because such ecological pyramid first put forwarded by the Charles Elton in the year 1927. That's why the ecological pyramid also known as the Eltonian pyramid. So what is actually the meaning of the ecological pyramid? As you all know that the producers, these are the main component, they form the food matter for the all herbivores or the primary consumers. Such primary consumer or the herbivores, they become the food of the secondary consumer or the carnivores. Such secondary carnivore become the food of the tertiary consumer or the top carnivore. So there is a relationship among the all members of the ecosystem, all the members of the food chain, only because of the food. So in each step, in each level of the food chain, suppose that this is the food chain. So chain wise they are linked because of the food. That's why it is known as the food chain. So in each step, each member, they form the trophic level. So suppose that this is the trophic level, means food level or the feeding level. So this is the trophic level. This is also another trophic level. This is another trophic level. This is another trophic level. So this trophic level, you can put the trophic level 1, the trophic level 2, the trophic level 3 and the trophic level 4. So what actually structure and the function of such trophic level in the food chain, and the graphical representation of such structure and the function of different trophic level in the food chain, which is known as the ecological pyramid. So ecological pyramid is nothing but it is the representation or graphical representation of the structure and the function of the different trophic level of the food chain or the ecosystem is known as the ecological pyramid. Such ecological pyramid, actually these are three types. One may be the pyramid in number, another may be the pyramid in biomass, another is pyramid in energy. So let's start the pyramid in numbers. So if you represent the number of individuals of each trophic level of the food chain or the ecosystem, this is known as the pyramid in numbers. So in this case, we find that the pyramid in number, it may be three types: the upright, inverted, upright pyramid, inverted pyramid, and the somewhat different type of pyramid. And this pyramid you may mention here somewhat different in shape. This is known as the different in shape. or somewhat different in shape. So upright pyramid, we also, or such type of pyramid we find in the grassland ecosystem or cropland ecosystem, grassland ecosystem. And the inverted pyramid we find in the parasitic ecosystem or the food chain, and the different in shape, somehow different from the upright and inverted. Such type of pyramid we will find in the forest ecosystem. So first come to the upright pyramid. So before going through the grassland ecosystem, you have to know what is the pyramid in number, the representation of the number of members of each trophic level in the ecosystem or the food chain is known as the pyramid in number. In pyramid in number, if it is upright, then it is known as the upright pyramid. So this is the upright pyramid. In upright pyramid, the producer, they form the base. Suppose that these are the producers, and subsequently all the consumers become tiers upon the producer. So this is the producer level, and subsequently the successive trophic level present towards the apex. So this is producer, this is the primary consumer, trophic level 2, this may be the secondary consumer, trophic level 3, and the top consumer, trophic level 4. So the suppose that this is the trophic level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in upright pyramid here we have 4 trophic level. So at the base of the pyramid, that is the producer, this is the first trophic level, and at the apex, the tertiary or the top consumer, they present at the apex of the pyramid. And from base to upward, the number is reduced. It indicates that the number is reduced, gradually reduced, or gradual reduction of the number from the producer to the primary consumer, to the secondary consumer, to the top consumer. For example, in case of grassland, thousands and thousands numbers of grasses are there. Suppose that there are so many number of grasses. Here 1 lakh number of grasses are there. And such 1,000 or 1 lakhs number of grasses support, suppose that rabbit, they support, these are the grasses, and such grasses support the rabbit, deers, grasshopper, goat, cow, etc. And these are the herbivores, and their number, suppose that 1,000. So the 1 lakh number of grasses, they support the 1,000 number of herbivores or the primary consumers. Such rabbit, deers, grasses, they become the food of the, they become the food of the snakes, wolves, they become the food of the other secondary consumers. And these snakes, wolves, they become the food of the, suppose that, vulture or tiger. Suppose that the number of the secondary consumers number is reduced or number is less than the primary consumer. Suppose that there are the 500 number of wolves, snakes or the secondary consumers, and such secondary consumers support the top consumer and their number, suppose that 50 or suppose that 10 number of top consumers are present. So if you observe, the number gradually reduced from producer to top carnivore, and such graphical representation of all successive trophic level of the food chain or the ecosystem is known as the pyramid in number, and it is upright. That's why it is known as the upright pyramid. Now come to the inverted pyramid. So there is the gradual reduction of the numbers. But another type of pyramid also present, where we find there is the gradual reduction of another type of food chain. This is another type of food chain where we find the gradual increase of members from the producer to the top carnivore. And this type of food chain you find in case of parasitic ecosystem. And here the producer, they present at the bottom of the or at the apex region of the pyramid. Suppose that this is the producer trophic level, this is the primary consumer, and suppose that this is the secondary and this is the top or the last consumer. So suppose that one large tree support the so many fruit eating birds, bats, then cows, then deers, etc. So one large tree, they support so many fruit eating birds, bats, cow, deers. These are the herbivores, and the number, suppose that 100. And such fruit eating birds, bat, cow, deer, they support the secondary consumers, and their number, suppose that 1000, and they may be the parasites, bug and the lice. So the fruit eating birds, on the body of the fruit eating birds, bat, cows, deers, they have so many bugs, or the lice, etc. These are the parasites. So here these parasites present on the body of the fruit eating birds, bats, cow, deer, and their number, suppose that about more than 1000, suppose that 1500 numbers. So these 1500 numbers of the parasite, they support the hyperparasites. Hyperparasite means the parasites which present on the body of the parasites. So the box body and the lice body itself contains so many bacteria and the fungus. So the box body and the lice body, they support the so many, suppose that here is 10,000 number of bacteria or the fungi are present. So these are the hyperparasite. So as you see that the large tree or the big tree number is 1, but such large trees support the primary consumer number is 100. The 100 primary consumer support the 1500 number of secondary parasites. These parasites support the 10,000 number of hyperparasites. And you find from the producer level to the parasitic level, you find that there is the gradual increasing of successive trophic level. This is the trophic level 1, 2, 3, 4, and which becomes the inverted in shape. That's why it is known as the inverted pyramid. This is known as inverted pyramid. So another type of pyramid also present in the number, which is differ from the upright pyramid and differ from the inverted pyramid. And such type of pyramid we put in the another head is known as the different in shape or the different type of pyramid. And such type of pyramid we find in the forest ecosystem. So in forest ecosystem we find that, so let me erase this one. Suppose that this is the producers or the tree. This is the tree, and this tree support the in a forest ecosystem there are so many larger trees are present, and such larger trees support the so many elephant birds, deers, cows, etc. So the tree form the producer which support the primary consumers, and this primary consumer support the very less number of fox, snakes, lizards. Suppose that fox, snakes, lizards. The number of secondary here, the secondary consumer is less. So the number of fox, snakes, lizards, the number is less than the elephant, birds, deer, cows, or the herbivores present in a large forest or the dense forest. And such fox, snakes, lizards, they support 1 or 2 or 3 number of lions or the tigers. Tiger or lion. So here you find the producer level is very less as compared to the primary consumer. In a large forest we find the very limited number of large trees, and but which support the so many number of elephant, birds, deers, cow, etc., which form the primary consumer. Such primary consumers support the very less number of frogs, snakes, and the lizards. These frogs, snakes, lizards from the secondary consumer, they support the last consumer or the tertiary consumer or the top consumer, and the top consumer level or the number is very less than the frogs, snakes, and the lizards. So this pyramid, which differ from upright one and the inverted one, that's why we named here the different in shape. So this pyramid is different in shape, and such pyramid we find in the forest or dense forest ecosystem. So in my another video, I will talk about the another type of pyramid, which is known as the pyramid in the biomass. If you like, then click on my another video regarding the another chapter of the environmental studies. Thank you.